Yo, now we live, baby. What's up? Welcome to the Make It Happen live stream with Coach K and Dstints, baby. We are so excited to be just having real, honest conversations about what we're doing in our lives, what we see our clients, what the rooms we're in, all around just making it happen. And we'd like to center our conversation, if you had the chance to read the description, around health, wealth, and relationships. And most things can fall into those three buckets. And we feel like if we are doing our best, and not that we can control every variable, we can control our input. What's up, Mark? What's up, Jenny? But if we know that we can focus on that, like, man, God will take care of the rest. And so me and Kristin Ericksen decided to do these streams because there's so many people who are waiting for it to happen instead of making it happen. There's too many people that are waiting on God and don't realize, unbeknownst to them, that God is waiting on them. Okay. And so we just know that if we are honest, vulnerable, transparent, and helpful, that we can shed some light and help entrepreneurs, business professionals, anyone who really is a leader of purpose and meaning and knows that, listen, if it's to be, it's to me. If it bothers me, maybe I'm called to fix it. And so we're actually doing something about it. So on today's stream, what you can expect is I'm going to take a moment to introduce myself as Darryll and the host, tell you a little bit about me. I'll let Kristin introduce herself. We're going to talk about what we're doing in our life to make it happen and what we've seen in our clients and the rooms we're in. We'll spend a little time there in that segment. Then we'll move to what I love, which is confidence and communication. I feel like that confidence drives everything. There was a clip that I did with Harbor and Union, this co-working space that we are partners with, and I was telling them when I don't have good energy, like when I'm not confident, I mean, my sales are down, my team morale is down, my business performance is down, my health is down, my marriage is down. I mean, confidence is connected to everything. They say the joy of the Lord shall be your strength. Okay. And so confidence, communication. Hey, marriages are won or lost on communication. Businesses are won or lost on communication. They say that communication is one of the most valuable business asset tools that we have. And I believe it's one of the most powerful spiritual tools that we have. Okay. So that's going to be our show today. We got a couple of announcements that we'll make at the end, so stay tuned for that. And I'll go ahead and introduce myself a little bit. My name is Darryll Stinson. I've been speaking, coaching, leading for about 12 years. I was a former high-level athlete who overcame multiple attempts to end my life and found Christ in a psychiatric unit. And since then, been chasing my purpose, which is to help leaders to share their God-given message with the world. And so I'm super passionate about community, co-founder of Seeding Greatness, which is a movement that you must know about. I lead that with my wife. I have 5 children. All under the age of 12, 4 girls and 1 boy. So I am busy, to say the least, and blessed. That's me. And my heart for this stream today is that we help shed some light on some blind spots, because it's hard to read the label when you're inside the bottle, and that we just provide a really valuable, honest conversation. So Kristin, holla at your boy. I've been talking too long. They ready to hear from you.
You're good. First of all, Darryll, I love the fact that we are doing this and combining our skill sets to reach as many people as possible. So thank you for initiating Make It Happen Mondays. Let's do it. My name is Kristin Ericksen. I am a peak performance coach for over 30 years across multiple different industries. I have trained anywhere from professional athletes to celebrities, as well as the everyday person that might not have a label, but that has a mission. So my purpose on this planet is to help people finish what they start. You know, so many times, Darryll, I see so many brilliant people have all these amazing ideas and start a great project, but they don't finish it. So that's where I come in, to help you really finish what you start so you can build what lasts. Together, myself and my fiance, DJ Thielen, and I, we have combined our skill sets to open the doors to the Make It Happen Retreat. And you can find us there at makeithappenretreat.com. We do 3 retreats every year that are all around health, wealth, and relationships. Each retreat has a different theme. We have an upcoming one that is now around wealth, impact, and legacy. So I am just honored and privileged to be here, because when you are in alignment with your purpose on this planet and the assignments that God has placed on your life, I assure you you will be able to finish what you start.
Yep. Yep. That's so true, man. I love that. And so, one of the things that I know we wanted to really, I don't know, clarify, I guess, from this stream is like when we talk about make it happen, and we're not talking about forcing it to happen. Okay. Like we can do our part. So I just, and I say that because it's this, I've lived as a high performer. I've lived trying to force my results to happen. And I can always create some outcome. I can always do that. But if it's not in alignment with, and so I guess like just to get into first segment of what am I doing? What have I heard that's working to make it happen in the lives of people? It's alignment, man. It is literally getting really clear. God, what if today was my last day? How do I want to spend it in my career? Okay, I'm not talking about my family, and I'm not talking about going on vacations, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like my purpose, what I put my hands to the plow for. I don't think there's enough entrepreneurs and leaders looking themselves in the mirror and asking themselves, like, am I fully aligned with my God-given purpose, or have I settled for a high level of success? I'm gonna be done in a second, Coach K. But don't you understand? Like, people would have hung my jersey. They would have retired. They would have hung it up at Jackson High. They would have hung it up, whatever professional team I played for, retired it, gave me a trophy, put me in the Hall of Fame. And nobody would have ever said, Darryll, why are you not coaching speakers? Why are you not sharing your story more? That is happening all day long. I know 7 and 9 figure entrepreneurs who are not even supposed to be in entrepreneurship. They're supposed to be building somebody else's business. I know people who are teachers who need to be coaches. I know coaches who need to be trainers. Like, it's all over the board. There's a divine recalibration happening right now. And so if you are in struggle, I say the first place to look is am I aligned in all areas of my life? Or am I settling somehow beneath success? What do you think about that, Coach K?
Darryll, I'm so glad you brought this up, because you understand, along with all other high performers as well, and especially as former athletes, we grew up seeking applause. And when you get trapped in that seeking applause from society trap, this is what I have found in my experience of over 30 years and 3,000 coaching 3,000 people. The ones that continue to try to seek applause oftentimes are the ones the most out of alignment. And I'm guilty of it too. Absolutely. There were so many times in my life where I kept seeking validation from other people. I kept seeking validation from circles and rooms, and you already know, where it was completely out of alignment. So that moment when a high performer is able to actually release the need for approval and applause, and to just dial in, put the horse blinders on, look up, and understand that your alignment to your God-given assignment is going to solve any problem that you have, Darryll, of being stuck wherever you might feel stuck, whether it's in your finances, whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in your business. If you're constantly seeking approval from outside sources, this is why you're not able to, quote unquote, make it happen. And for me, I can only share my story. But the moment that I dropped to my knees in my kitchen and said, you know what? I surrender. I'm a control freak. This is not working out for me. Everything, all these decisions that I've made were the wrong decisions. So maybe it's time to give up that control. Maybe it's time to stop seeking approval from people that they're not going to come with you anyways, and focus on what does God have for me. So I surrender. I don't know what to do. Give me the strength. And I just specifically said, Darryll, use me. Use me. And it was at that moment when you surrender, you give up control, that not only myself, but my clients find this. I get excited just talking about it. Like, you find this newfound freedom to go, holy cow, I can actually be myself and enjoy it and my sheep will hear my voice. So there is nothing forced, nothing forced. That's the freedom that I know you, Darryll, as a leader, and myself included. I want to lead people to that place, because it's truly the secret, and it's not really a secret. It's just people forget. They forget.
I think people forget, and I also think that it's so subtle. It's like so subtle. Like even even myself, like I'm aligned with my purpose, right? And but there's times where I drift. There's times where because I'm focused on this, or I got excited about this other thing, that I end up right here. Okay, it's not 45 degrees misaligned. It's like 3 degrees misaligned. It's like I'm doing some of the right things from the wrong energy, or I'm overcompensating, because I'm not trusting the path. All these things are full alignment in my singular purpose of direction. And I think that, and the reason why I bring up the subtlety is because for me, it's hard to read the label when you're inside the bottle. For me, it is hard to see where I'm 2 to 4 degrees off. I need people around me who love me enough to tell me when my breath's staying.
Or when there's spinach in your teeth. Hey,
and there's spinach in it right here.
In your teeth, right there. Get it right there. Yeah.
Get the spinach out. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's so wrong with doing that? You got to love people enough to just interrupt their demise and their sabotage, And I feel like because AI in social media feeds us our biased, people have a hard time with feedback and external perspective. And I think that's one of the most dangerous things to humanity. If we cut ourselves off from deep feedback, from allowing people to speak into our life. I can't even say that anymore without feeling hesitant. Speak into our life instead of allowing Chat GPT or Claude or Perplexity or Notebook LM or whatever to speak into my life. Like, use it all. It's dope. But not to replace your own discernment, not to replace the humans that need to be in your life. Does that make sense? So I'm curious to you, when it comes to allowing people to speak in your life, how do you, Kristin, how do you remain coachable? How do you remain teachable? What are some things that you constantly ask mentors and coaches in your life in order to have them see a perspective that you have trouble seeing yourself?
First of all, Darryll, I want to share this, and listeners, please listen to this, especially women. Not to say that men don't have this, but this is something that I honestly recently discovered, probably within the last 4 years. And I started to see these repeat patterns happen. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, God's trying to tell me something. So the way that I decide who I personally am going to allow to speak into me truly is my nervous system. If I feel easy and at ease and joyful and like, okay, come on, give it to me, around someone, which is why, Darryll, you are my coach and you will forever be my coach when it comes to speaking, because I trust what you have to speak into me, because we are in alignment with our mission, our values, our purpose, our audiences, we are in alignment. So I started listening to my nervous system more, to the point that there's actually been situations where I've been in before, and I started to track it, where I physically got sick. I started to physically get sick. I would get headaches. My energy would drop, which if you know me personally, I'm a very high level energy person. I'm a very high energy person most of the time. And this is how and ask my mother. I was born that way. This is nothing new. I've been that way since I was 2. So I started paying attention to who brings me energy, who do I get excited and energized and creative at the key one.
Mm-hmm.
Who do I get creative around when they start talking and it starts to spark little ideas in my brain or big ideas in my brain? And then I decide, oh, you're my person. As opposed to other communities or people, or I'm not going to call out people, but there are people that I've been around where I physically start to get sick. And I have to politely excuse myself and say, gotta go. Thank you so much, but I gotta go. Nicely, and just understand that nothing against the person. It's just not in alignment where I am at now. So I encourage people to start, especially women, because we have that intuition for a reason. Listen to your intuition. God gave you that for a reason. And now, especially at age 51, and yes, I'm 50, I can kick and I can stretch. I pay attention to that. You want to see? Whoop! There I am. For real. I pay attention because when I went to
I can kick and I can stretch. Is that the first thing that goes out when you get older? Is like, should I worry about being able to kick?
Yes, you should. Yes, you should. Okay, if you can't stretch and can't kick and can't squat, chances are you're not going to have the energy to carry out your mission. However, back to that, Darryll, I have to bring this up to your audience because I know that you have your incredible Seeding Greatness retreat coming up as well, which I know we'll talk about at the end. But I have to share this. That was the room. That was the room. We were in session at Seeding Greatness all day long. Now, normally, if I'm at an event like that is all day long, I am ready to go to bed by about 2:00 in the afternoon. Whereas at your retreat, even at 9:00 at night, after we had been in session all day doing all kinds of amazing, various extracting genius things at the Seeding Greatness retreat, I was still ready to go. So again, intuition. When you are in alignment with the people, places, relationships, things that are in alignment with your purpose, listen to it. Because not every coach is for everyone. Because what's the first thing I ask you, Darryll, after I've done, whether it's speaking or coaching or a masterclass or a live, or what's the first thing that I ask you?
How'd I do? How'd I do? Which is crazy, by the way. Now this is a no, okay? Because I had clients where when I tell them an honest opinion about how they did, I mean, oh my God. And I mean, like, I dare you. Oh my God. What? I mean, argue, debate. I'm like, hey, man, hey, you don't have to agree. And I mean, it just didn't make sense. And my wife thought I was crazy because every time I get done with a gig, I'm like, I'm not even off stage yet. And I'm like 7.5, 7.88. I'm grading myself, not because I'm trying to perform, but because I'm assessing and I'm taking my calling seriously. Yeah. So I'm not going to act like I'm not going to measure. And I don't know how spiritual people don't measure anything. My pastor always told me, never be so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good. So for me, when everyone's like, let me get to the practical, spiritual is practical. And if it ain't practical, it ain't spiritual. It's something else. It's distortion, because God is very practical. Let there be light. There was. It is so practical. So my wife thought I was crazy, and I'm going somewhere. Listen to this, y'all. And then Kristin Ericksen, the moment she gets off the stage, she walk up to me, and she not trying to say she don't want no high five. She like, give it to me. How'd I do? Come on, bring it. What do you think? I'm like, Kristin, I'm not doing that right now. You did great. You did what the Lord told you to do. We'll talk about that on Tuesday. But my point in that, y'all, is there is a important principle that you attract who you are. And if you don't put who you are out on the internet for people to see, and you're building a brand or a speaking business, or you're leading a company, don't be surprised if you get fractions of yourself back instead of all of yourself back. Because before I met Kristin, I was putting out fractions of myself online, so there was no wonder why I was getting clients who would only allow me to be fractions of myself. But then I started to put the full me on out there. Thank God to many people who read the label from outside the bottle. Shout out to Jessica Lundy, who had the bold audacity to tell me when I won the Mic Your Drop competition in Cancun, Mexico, at Eric Thomas's and Jeremy Anderson's event. She had the nerve to tell the winner that your speaking is dope, but your wardrobe does not match the caliber of your speaking. And I was like, oh. She had to hit your boy below the jugular. But I got it. All full expression, baby. The hat, the personality, the everything. Because when I put it out there and I'm myself, yes, I repel everybody who doesn't align with me. But then I get my people who do. Dr. Stacey, shout out to her. Jen Nash, shout out to him. Zach, Jim Morris, Ashley. I like my clients. Like I got my people, baby.
Yeah,
that's all I want. And so if you don't have your people, maybe it's not the internet. Maybe it's not the algorithm. Maybe it's not your last coach. Maybe it's actually you and your confidence to put yourself out there. Which is a great way to go to our last segment before we make our announcements, Kristin. Give them one nugget.
Where's the
Rafiki stick? Where's my Rafiki
I need the Rafiki stick. Come on. What do we do to people that are... That's it.
Bop. Remember who you are? So on that note, so we make sure they get some level of confidence. That's your communication though, okay? Fully express yourself. Don't hold back your personality, your belief, your tone, nothing. Your skill set, you want to play, you want to sing, you want to dance, do it all. I'd rather you display your personality than to cage your voice and show up like a robot, okay? So.
And yes, this is part of my personality because I believe that when you are confident and you can actually have fun building what God called you to build, you should be able to be yourself. And last I checked, Darryll, didn't the Bible say
that from?
San Francisco? Doesn't the Bible say, I know it says it, I just want to put it out there, we are supposed to maintain a childlike spirit. It's childlike. People are taking themselves so darn seriously, which is why you don't have confidence, which is why you feel insecure around certain things or people or places or whatever, because you're trying to filter who God actually created you to be. Don't do that. I used to do it, and it really sucked. I would leave places, and I felt so unworthy sometimes. Like, why didn't they pick me? And then when I got involved, I realized, well, I don't need them to pick me because God picked me.
Yeah.
So the confidence comes from, and not everybody's going to be that. That's who I am. I'm colorful. I'm creative. I'm playful. I'm energetic. That's how God created me. I don't know. If you don't like it, ask him why he created. I don't know. That's not up for me or for you to decide. The point of the matter is, I have met so many people, Darryll, that are the introverted extrovert or a pure introvert who is the quiet one in the corner, who is truly the most powerful one in the room. I've met those people too. The point of the matter is to step into your character, all of it. Because, I remember our pastor, Darius Daniels, talking about some of us have an uncommon calling. It's an uncommon calling. You cannot put a label on you or I or so many people that might be listening to this. Well, what exactly is it that you do? Well, it's not one thing. So if you have an uncommon calling in the world, this is where the confidence comes from, because there is no competition with you.
I know. I when you said that, Kay, I thought about how comparison wanes confidence, right? Like it's I'm confident till I start comparing.
Yeah,
I was confident
absolutely.
till I started scrolling. I mean,
Yep.
I loved my speech till I watched ET. You know what I mean? Like it's like the comparison created the insecurity.
Yeah.
And I think we need more discerning. We need more discretion to be like, hey man, like I'll never forget like I'll say it this way. Eric Thomas, right? This just because this was a big piece of my insecurity, because I thought I had a lot of passion. I had a similar style, but he was way louder, way more passionate, way whatever. And this was the old. See, I can't even resonate with that anymore because I know who I am now. Now I'm like, I'm not. I'm who I am. I don't need to be that. Okay. But at that time, I was super insecure. I was just getting started. I was comparing myself, and my confidence was decreasing. And I'll never forget his speech, the famous one everyone knows. What is it? How to succeed as bad as you want to breathe. That speech, that's viral. It's got X amount of millions and millions and millions and millions of views. When CJ broke down the fact that that was like a 60 to 90-minute talk that they edited down to that, and he walked us through all that went into it, I was like, oh my God, I thought it was all raw video, you know, and it didn't lessen his skill. It just was like they actually knew how to display it accurately online, right? Because if you ever meet him in person, he's way better in person than video. But the point is that here I was comparing my 60-minute keynote unedited to his 10-15-minute video that was highly produced.
Yeah.
And it was creating unnecessary insecurity.
Yeah.
And so I wonder how many people out there, Kristin, are struggling with unnecessary insecurity, are struggling with confidence because of comparison. And what if they just stopped comparing? Would they not have to work so hard to be confident?
Not only will they not have to work so hard, but they wouldn't have to worry. When you stop comparing and stop, you know, it's one thing to research the internet and admire people that you aspire to be like, but in your own way. You know, one of my coaches said, don't copy, but model and make it your own. I was like, oh, I like that. So if I were to list the top 10 keynote speakers that I personally love to listen to, picking out little pieces of what I enjoy that they do and how they hit it. And then how does that resonate with your own self?
Yeah.
That's how you become that 1% extra better version of yourself. And again, we already know the only way we can get to this unique confidence is just by putting in the reps and starting, you know, something when you don't have it figured out totally. Because nobody has, if anybody tells you on the internet that they have it all figured out, yeah, no, they don't. I was on for 4 hours with my VA this morning figuring some stuff out. Okay. But the point is, if you just start it really messy and start it where you just, you know, it's just you and your best friend going on a live, or you and your best friends going into a conference together, and you're getting those reps out, and then you do ask for the feedback from the people that you trust, that you're in alignment with. This is how you get better, and you get better in a fun way, so it doesn't have to feel like a burden on you and stressful, and where it just, people go into panic mode and they get nervous to step on a stage or coach in a live training. Whereas if you just show up, you're showing up for yourself first and foremost. And when you show up for yourself first and foremost fully, this is how you're going to attract the people that you want to do business with, people that you want to have a relationship with. Because there's so many sides to any object that you pick up. There's so many sides to, you know, whatever. There's not just one part of the candle. That's just the wick. But you got the aggregate of everything that is combined in this is what makes it unique.
Yes.
Oh, and it smells good too. So make sure when you put out your content, it smells good too. And I'm gonna come back to that point, but I want to see where you go with that, Darryll, in regards
No,
to
man. Dude, honestly, that's so good. What came up for me is how much of what you're saying, and I love what you said. You said you got to get your reps in, and you even gave examples of reps they can take. And I think that's important because we have to condition ourselves for confidence. It's like I had to tell myself, hey, the reason why I struggle with confidence is because I'm not conditioned. The same way, like I'm not surprised when I start working out and I haven't worked out in a long time that I'm out of breath. I'm not surprised when I try to put myself out there. I go online if I struggle, if I don't know what to say, if I don't know how to start, if I lose my train of thought, if I get triggered and want to go hide in the room, if I went to the networking event and then I hid the entire networking event. Like I have to condition that. And if I don't and I stay at home and I just do my thing from Zoom all day and then I watch television and I don't actually condition myself for confidence, then no wonder when I try to run, I'm out of breath. No wonder when I try to be confident, I run out of steam and energy because I haven't conditioned myself for confidence. So I love that there was a plethora of ideas that was about conditioning. So y'all, listen, I actually feel like there's a lot of conversation. There's enough where y'all could take and add some and take some action. We want to hear back from you. Remember, if you're just tuning in, this is the Make It Happen Monday live stream with Dstints and Coach K, aka Kristin Ericksen and Darryll Stinson. And we are talking about and centering our conversation around how we're making it happen, specifically in the area of our health, wealth, and relationships. And if you're just catching this part of the segment, we're in our segment of confident and communication because it's something that drives everything that both of us do. And so we gave a lot of tips and nuggies. If you're watching this replay, make sure you put a hashtag replay or let us know where you're tuning in from. We want to engage with the comments throughout the week if we see you tapping in. And right now we want to announce some events that we're hosting because one of the most powerful ways to change your life, to elevate your life, to deepen your life is to be in rooms with the right people. And we both host our events and curate our rooms. So Kristin Ericksen is hosting a Make It Happen retreat, which I've been to the first two. This will be the third one. And I'd love for you to just talk about the retreat, what people can expect, how can they learn more about it, all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm just so grateful, Darryll, that this is your third one. You have been there from the beginning, so thank you for that. We are always grateful to have you in the room. And when this retreat started, it was literally like, oh, this is a good idea. Let's do it. And then it just caught on. So here we are at the third one. Darryll, I believe in really expanding someone's mind of what's possible, because once the mind expanded, it cannot contract. And the mind, just like a parachute, only works when it's open. So the purpose of the Make It Happen retreat is to expand people's mind to what is possible with your wealth that you are creating, what is possible with the impact that you are able to make when you're in the right rooms with the right relationships and the right reach. This is what is also in this room. And then that leads me to the last piece of this, which is so, so important. Darryll, it's about legacy, because you've been to these tables before. Thank you so much for that. Where we are not just talking about your local chamber of commerce goals. No, we are talking about the legacy, the impact, and the wealth that can be created when you have global goals, global things that people would like to accomplish to actually change the world. That is what is happening at these retreats. We are hosting this at a private estate on the beach near St. Augustine, Florida, for this particular one. And wow, I'm just grateful that the chef that we hired, if you like to eat, this is just a great reason to come to the Make It Happen retreat. We have a Michelin star chef that is going to be cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner for all of our attendees. Holy smoke, this is going to be a special one. As well as yourself as a keynote speaker and about 3 other very powerful speakers. One of which for this one is my mentor when it comes to the wealth piece. I don't want to give it away on here because you're just gonna have to come and see who it is.
I gotta find out.
To see. However, yeah, the last retreat we had a gold medalist in the room, so we do set the standard very high because high performers function in a different type of environment. So if you're a dabbler, this is not the room for you. If you're really driven to make a very global impact, is that my friend Magic? Yes, it is. If you're that high performer, high achiever, this is the room for you. This is not necessarily for someone new. However, we do welcome new if you have those big, hairy, audacious goals.
Yes, I love that, man. And one of the things that, to me, and I did this at our last event, our bigger Seeding Greatness event, when there was people in the room and I was sitting there thinking, and I was like, all my programming stuff, I really don't have to do. The hard work is getting the right people in the room. Right. And what I love about you and the retreats I've been to is that you do a really good job of getting the right people in the room. You're in a lot of great rooms, you're investing in yourself, you're traveling, you're speaking, you're doing stuff with DJ's in rooms, he's in real estate, and then you bring it together at this Make It Happen retreat. And it's kind of like the magic is already magicked, right? Everything else is just cherry on the top. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to be teaching. I know Kristin's going to be facilitating some stuff, showing you her full arsenal. But more than like anything information wise, it is the access, it's the relationships, it's the space to have longer, more valuable conversations. So let them know they can go to Kristin Ericksen, they can go to makeithappenretreat.com. Is that the primary places where they can engage?
Makeithappenretreat.com, yes, and KristinEricksen.com. 2 I's in my first name, 2 E's in my last name. Everybody spells it wrong, but it's okay. And just a last piece on that, Darryll. The whole purpose of the Make It Happen retreat is truly to help people finish what they start, meaning you're not going to walk out with a bunch of notes. Yes, you're going to take notes, but it is a room where we actually implement what is your biggest challenge that you're having right now in your business, and we're going to fix it right there in the room. So we have an AI expert coming in that I plucked straight out of Dean Graziosi's mastermind. Brilliant man. And I'm actually in San Francisco right now for the developers conference with all of the Silicon Valley. I mean, these are the godfathers and godmothers of AI and technology, the developers. So very, very high level with this one. Very, very high level. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Last announcement, y'all. Somebody say extracting genius. Oh, I can't wait. Part 2, baby. Listen, the first one, we focused primarily on extracting your keynote story. Okay, your keynote story. And this one is different. This one, we're extracting your business design. And what I mean by that is your story should infuse your business. It should be in a direct alignment. And what I've learned is that people who are doing podcasts, have books, have multiple keynotes, don't always understand their core signature messages and how that fuels their ecosystem. And so what we really want to do is help people to see beyond just a singular spine of a message, like we did at our first retreat, and to see the entire message that they are. And how can they build an ecosystem that is in full alignment with that? So we're more so focused on the alignment side. The ecosystem will probably be that last day. We'll spend a little time there. But man, really want people to feel the ability and the empowerment to be fully expressed within their business. There's so many people who feel like they're a slave to their own podcast. They're a slave to the algorithm, and they got to keep showing up to do the things to run their business. They got their content planning days. But what if you ain't have to be a slave to any of it? What if you could just be a spiritual creator? What if there was no content creation, just content documentation? And what if you could do it all consciously instead of algorithmically? Okay, and that's what we're talking about at the Extracting Genius Retreat. You can type retreat in the chat if you want to know about when it's at, where it's at. I'm going to be opening registration today, baby. So, and part of how
I'm already booked. I'm already booked.
What? She said last year. Don't even, you already know. -1 on.
But seriously,
love that,
to anybody that's listening, and I'm not just saying this because Darryll is my friend and my coach. This is a life. If you want to be a speaker, you need to get to this retreat. Hands down. If you want to make a tremendous impact with your voice and your communication and your message, please do yourself a favor. It is truly and I'm not just saying this, Darryll, you know, it is the most powerful retreat outside of my own, of course, but that's different because I'm the teacher, that I have been to, where a coach poured into the coach. If you're a coach, this is the retreat for you, because you will be poured into at this retreat. So I am just so excited to be in that room again.
Love it. So it'll be taking place in starting off June 4th, y'all. So make sure you hit us up. Comment retreat if you want information on the Make It Happen retreat, or the Extracting Genius retreat. And then remind me of the date again. Make It Happen. It's coming up in May, right? May
15th through 17th.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We are sold out. However,
sold out. So they got to get on the wait list for the next one.
However, what I will do, but I'm only going to do this for 2 people, because I have to kind of sneak you in. I will open up 2 outside spots. We have no more rooms left in the home. However, there are hotels off property. Okay. So if you're serious, I will open up 2 additional spots. But we sold out 4 days ago. Oh, and we still have 3 weeks left. So
let's go. I'm finna sell out today. I'm finna sell out this week. Then I'm finna sell out this week, Kay. It's not like I'm having 30 people, y'all. It's only like 7 to 10, and 10 is pushing it this time because we're doing real work, you know. And people get up and share and give speeches and all this stuff. So nobody wants to listen to like 12 people give a long talk. Okay. So, anyways, man, comment retreat. If you want to be a offsite guest at her retreat, find a hotel, get in that room, man. Access. Tell her to make you a deal. Okay. And then Extracting Genius. All right. We love y'all. We want to hear from you. Let us know. How are you making it happen this week? I see you, Parker Kane. Definitely would love to have you out at the retreat. One or the other, man. Dr. Joseph Bryant. Oh, man, I got to give Dr. Joseph some love. Dr. Joseph was my mentor for Second Chance Athlete, connected me to Chris Broussard, a lot of NFL athletes. He represents athletes as speakers. He does a lot of events with men, and he's a pastor himself and a man of God. I got to give a shout out to my mentor, Billy. I see you, and Jeff, the Wolf Director out in Cali, baby. You need to know Kristin Ericksen, man. Y'all should definitely connect. So, anyways, man, shout out to everybody for tuning in. Y'all make this a conversation, not just what do you call it? A presentation. All right, we really want to hear from you. And until next time, go out there and make it happen. We need some theme song. We need like some music. We need music next stream. All right, we're gonna come up with some.
I got you on that one.
All right, y'all. Love y'all. Till next time.
Love you. Bye.